know that it's like impossible to quantify, kind of. So like, but I was sitting at his place because he's got a house like down the street a little, and like it's next to this road that's like a lot of cars coming in and out and stuff, and they I was like trying to like catch like their auras or something, like mentally, like kind of like throwing your light body around or something like that. Like astral projection people have a lot of different language for talking about this stuff. I haven't found any of it that I particularly like actually, but like um I was just kind of like there's something about the movement of the cars and how fucking fast they were going, but I threw myself into this vertigo because like vertigo is a sense that we have that like gives us balance and stuff. And so I got really, really I was drinking a little bit too, and it was kind of coming towards the end of my like drinking phase because I was like so depressed. Like if I drank, I would just go to sleep, you know. So like, because it was like getting really hard for me to like even want to be awake. I was just like traumatized, and like so like after that, I probably didn't drink for a while because like the vertigo was so gnarly that I got from it. But it was when, and then I was on the second floor of the house too, and I felt like I really just wished I was not like could go downstairs and like be closer to the ground because of like magnetic reasons or something, you know? So I figure it has something to do with like a structure that we can't see, we can't quantify in any way. But like I know that like of our seven senses, vertigo and perception are the least understood. And so I'm trying to create the laws of perception, which is kind of like optical arts. So it's trying to take something that's two-dimensional and turn it into three-dimensional. So like when you hear a story about somebody, you can like it's like forensics, like how detectives piece together stories based on like what people say and the way that they present the information. It's art forensics.
No, like, yeah, like how a writer conjugates a story, or
Yeah, like how a detective chooses evidence as like priority will really determine whether a case works out or not. And it's one of those things that's really, really like I felt like I paid so much attention to that sort of thing that I'd be able to like do okay in my own trial. But the only thing was like I wasn't confident enough to like tell people when to shut the fuck up, like my lawyer and stuff. And like he was too embarrassed because like I kind of take away from his manhood when that happens. You know, he's like a short man too. So like I knew there was gonna be trouble from the get, and like and but I kind of just knew that I'd be able to use that against him and shit. Which is fucked up, but like, but I just wanted. I figured like we'll challenge the guy and like I don't want to have to like explain all this to a new person anyway. So like
I think it says a lot to have a strong woman on your team.
yeah. The only thing is like I don't think he was. I mean like he's definitely like I always have to think of like we have a good like me and him have a good friendship for sure. I'm hoping, but like, or at least I have to tell myself to look at it that way because he fucking pisses me off. But like,
Your lawyer?
yeah, he's absolutely useless. But like, I don't really want to like. I'm very grateful to him because like it wasn't that hard to make him. Unfortunately, it was not that hard to kind of like get him off balance. Like all I had to say was like, why should I fucking respect any of you people if you're indifferent to female genocide? Like, and that's what kicked his ass. But then he didn't take the sensitive approach to something like, okay, if a bunch of people are indifferent to female genocide, like, don't just go barreling in there without like talking to the person that introduced you to this fucking like chaos and shit. And like that's kind of what he did. But like he introduced me really like respectfully and stuff, but like he really just doesn't know how to keep that respect. Like because artists are very easy to just think like you're a spoiled loser. Why the fuck should I give a fuck about you? Like you're probably lying. Like all artists are. So like yeah, like he definitely didn't bring that shit.
I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
Yeah, and it was really nice to like finally have someone introduce me because I was introduced like formally. Like I didn't like I don't feel like I looked like an asshole like at first at all. Like it was very much like I should get a fucking introduction every goddamn time, and it should be like a lecture introducing me like also because
I'd love to like introduce you on stage somewhere. That would be to have the opportunity to introduce all
Hell
of my
yeah.
artists. Like,
Well, we can totally do that as long as you've got like if we could write it out so that we've got like the script for it, we can do it at the quarry because that place looks like an amphitheater already. We could just put a bunch of dinosaurs in there and stuff like as the audience and like
I think what I want to do is just, I want to make this one just solely you. Like, I want to ask you to be like part of like I want to involve you more, and I want to involve you more, but I want you to do.
Like yeah, I think you could adapt if you were
totally
into it.
do. Like it's like less work, I guess, but it would involve you more. Like.
Well, I've got some things that like if you get your class and like look at some of the like structures that I've got some things and like some, but I don't know how to organize anything in because I just haven't really. It's so much work, and I feel like I just need someone like you in person in order to have the morale to even get that.
I appreciate your art, and I appreciate your videos, and I appreciate the things that are said, even if they're like.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
I'm not completely grasping all of it, but then sometimes it takes me a second and I grasp it, and then sometimes I'm like, all right.
There's no way to really prepare somebody for their moral imagination being tested.
Like that's just the greatest thing because it's so humbling and it's so. It's at least for me.
There's a code, like a balance to it. It's like as much dignity as you can muster with absolutely no pride.
Right, and just be like, fuck.
And it's like whatever it is in the language set that you're working on with, like whatever like language country you're in and shit. It's the same everywhere. It's the same in Shakespeare. You know, you're saying something with all the dignity in the world, and your pride is no longer there. And it seems ridiculous to the people who are hearing it because from their standards and their value sets and their structure, the way that they're used to hearing language being used, you know, they haven't actually done the equation with that like set of whatever of abstract circumstances are that in the joke or whatever is forcing you to like. So when comedians know this, they kind of like
they didn't have the experience themselves to relate to it.
Yeah, well, they've never had to like. They probably either like, you know, it's not hard to go and do some stand up and shit, and then like fall into the same like pattern of like trying to like meet people that are able to stomach that fucking whorehouse industry, and then like, you know, finding the confidence to come back to it time and time again, because that's not fucking easy. So like I came at it from like, well, since I don't like anything at all, and there's nothing I would want to be affiliated with, and I'm almost terrified to become good enough to be affiliated with any of these people. Because like then I fucking like probably just gonna be on this hamster wheel for the rest of my days of like their fucking turn, and I'm never going to be able to stomach something like that. And it's terrifying like waterfall that you're like rowing up towards, waiting to get sucked down, and like that's what kind of happens with celebrities. Like they get sold on these material things for a week like that, and like
why is it so hard to just be yourself if you're that good?
well because people are so complicated, and so we don't really know ourselves. I mean, if we are going to really get to know ourselves, we kind of have to do it together. And so people aren't getting what I'm like, oh, they don't have the same conversations. Like that, like whatever the questions are that they're asking, they're not right. And when you get a bunch of people that ask the wrong questions, then it's kind of like what some people and maybe it's going to be. And then not only that, you've got like a medium balance. It's really little, and it's very much like taking things that like
So a lot of people, which is great.
Oh, everyone does. It's like a witch hunt, and it's a witch hunt, and it's a witch hunt hard. We have to like, we've got the animosity that we have just sitting around here, growing like that. And the only thing that we're supposed to know. Because if we knew how much fucking work we've gone, if I knew how much work it would be to like get into being like the artist that I want to be, like if you knew how much work that was, we wouldn't even do that.
I have a feeling that I might have.
But we
I don't
did
know.
want to be born on these days, but I'm kind of like,
And this is what we're doing.
at least I tell myself that shit because the more stupid shit you do, the better off you are anyway. So.
Like if you especially want us to say this,
I know.
you need to argue either one.
I
So-
kind of almost remember coming down. Well, that's why the reason I ended up searching for it is because like that's right next to a hill where like I had my first memories. And I remember being little and like driving the car and like recognizing the road when we got back to the house. And then like there's that feeling of like either cold and like a room or something like.
I remember the day I was born. I didn't remember.
That's crazy.
Kind of like. Well, no, I
didn't come into my body like really. Right before the Berlin Wall fell.
I remember the color of the walls in the room that I delivered in. And I asked my mom this, and she's like, who told you that? She's like, and then she was thinking about it. She's like, how did you know that?
That's crazy.
And she's just
What
like,
color were they?
they were like,
Yeah, like clinical green.
no, yeah, and then like the scrubs were that same color. Everything I just remember being super
Turquoise. Royalty.
turquoise. He's like that. It's like green.
Oh yeah. It's a royal like American color. Like it's like purple in the old world and kind of like turquoise.
I remember like I was like in the incubator as well. I had problems with my lungs. It's funny that my mom said respiratory therapist and had like I remember you remember this like in the street
Before you were born?
No, this is like a couple days after I was born. Like I remember laying next to this huge the onion bird toy.
Oh yeah.
And I remember that what big I just remember like seeing this orange thing looking straight at me.
Yeah, like the fact that our memories were just fucking trip. That
It's
like
like we're literally like 2 seconds long, but it's like I do remember these things like vividly.
it's such a weird thing because that's like something that alright used to like your universe has afforded us a memory. And to me, you'll never like. I heard this somewhere that you don't remember what people say or what they do, but you remember how they make you feel. And
Like
and
dreams, you remember every you go based upon you make your diagnosis based upon your different feelings.
it's like
The imagery,
like a lightning bolt discharging some electricity that's like kind of used to be circulating and it's kind of gotten like really like cold and the catastrophe and that's kind of unleashed in people. And
2012.
and that's what we're doing right now. We're like this lightning bolt that's like updating the catastrophe of like
Lightning bolt that's
Mhm.
updating. Like a light bulb that's updating a catastrophe.
The universe is a game of giant metaphors, man.
I love that. Like sometimes you're just sitting there and just like all of these kind of like
Yeah, like it's all about paint quality and like just getting a texture and like just something that could never ever be staged kind of like you can't
I think we should start selling more of our original art.
totally or it could be like
Just one of a kind and like
Yeah.
price them what you think they should be priced at.
and like well I want to do kind of like a thing where like if you because we want people that have the money to fucking buy an artist or like fund an artist like thing and like
And I
not
hate
only that
to-
but like an important one.
I hate to ask you to like think this way, but like
I think this way anyway. So it's like I definitely have like ideas and structures that I'm pretty well set on. The only thing
So
is like
open.
it's so much work, and then it's like if I only have so much morale, like yeah, it's like
it's hard to like express to you how important this is to me over the internet or over
it's
phone
no,
calls.
it's impossible.
Okay.
There's no way to do
Like
it.
I will,
I'm so
but
glad
now
you're here.
I have like I came here because I was told that you're important to this thing. I've been told specifically like Elizabeth Tucker is the person you need to go to.
Well,
Like
I'm really glad
supposed
you came
to
out.
be
'cause,
like the person who like I'm asking you to like
I've been needing somebody to ask me that. Like I've been like wondering, you're an angel of the running thing, so like
you're we're both.
we're like mirrors.
Do you wanna know? You wanna know who told me this?
For sure.
You wanna know who told me this? Like
Who on earth?
you will actually appreciate it. But I tried to tell it 3 different times in my last night. I was flowing with these guys and I tore these guys I tore you apart. And you know it, but when you see this, I'm just gonna brag too. Fuck it. This happened and I was telling them, so I'm about to tell you and we didn't really do it in the past, so I had to do it in a different form. So this is the story. I got myself a brand new nice white paint pen, yay. So I started drawing my name, and this is everything. And I just remember waking up, and there it is. Like my whole room is like covered in writing. And a couple years ago, I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna trust you for a little bit. I kind of sleepwalk sometimes whenever I'm super fucked up, and I mean, and my parents' house still has this written on their wall. This is before I even had who knew who you are. I wrote, I am a willing participant. And it's still on the thing. And like, that was clue number 1. Yeah, like,
I just got like
we all know what you're
I just got goosebumps at my grandma's funeral. The like we should willingly open ourselves as we let her in, and like it was like I was like filming it on camera too. I got at my grandma's funeral like pretty much like the like
okay
eulogy that the guy like that she wanted to do. She's a Hollywood like hostess and stuff, and like a lot of these things that I'm doing are out of like she gave me she gave me this world of like art, you know, that like as a kid it was like, you know, man, it was like, you know, growing up in MGM is something as far as like
sure yeah
as far as my memories like the nostalgia is concerned, like it's just like totally like they showed me the Wizard of Oz and they're like, this is what you can do, and like that's kind of like what I've always kind of grown up to like want to do, because I live in the desert and stuff, so I have all these like gnarly themes that are kind of like extreme and like Wild West before. So like
that's the internet.
Right. She died right before the funeral. So and so did Nancy Reagan. I feel like they got to sit there together. And almost a few times when I was like doing my testimony, there's like a weird woman's voice, and I swear I don't know if it is in my head or if it is someone there or if it's a ghost, but like I remember hearing like a woman like, oh,
A weird woman.
oh, and I feel like it was Nancy Reagan, like she didn't understand, and then like she was understanding and like making her noises or something. It was so funny, and like my memory was so weird because I'm thinking like, who the fuck was doing that? And like
I want you to be the weird woman that does my narration for my eulogy, please. Like,
dude, I give a hell of a eulogy. Like
I have to.
my eulogies are fucking like serious. Like that's like when you're trying to sum up in a few sentences a person's life. It's one of the most like challenging things. But for me, since my values are so determined, like I usually I feel really, really great after those are very empowering moments.
Whenever I die, I want you to help me with mine because I'll be dead, so I'm gonna need you to do this. But find a girl named Erica Mendeville, okay?
We're gonna
she's
give
the
our
only person
like,
that's ever promised to like help me. And what she said, like when I was a young kid, you were in the band, okay, that thing. And like I said, you were the first person I ever saw like sing the lyrics to. Because we didn't have our lyrics printed inside of our, album art. It was just our, names that we played.
for sure.
So, and our singer was not the greatest of all vocalists, okay? But and he did a lot of the screaming all the time. So like it's hard to decipher some of the words. And I'm watching these kids from this side of the Marquee Theater in Tempe. It's a very, very, very like
I know where Tempe is.
It's like a honor to play there. And I'm seeing these kids just fucking mouth the words and like
first time I ever saw it. So this girl's gonna learn one of my songs, she said, and she's gonna play it on guitar and make it acoustic. And she's not a musician, and I was like, that is the fucking coolest thing.
That is really cool. That is so awesome.
Yeah, she's like, you affected me and influenced me to want.
Yeah, like these are the things that people need to tell young artists so that they don't just like think, oh, I'm gonna be a loser forever. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like what kind of monsters are we, dude? But like, it's all because we just didn't really know any better, and so like, certainly people who have inherited like wealth and shit, and like, you know, obviously like the monarchy was overthrown, and nobody fucking gives a shit about like, you know, the integrity of their name, or like, you know, we don't live in a feudal thing like that necessarily, but like we don't have
There's some honor behind a name or a symbol still.
there ought to be, because like the thing that we lost when we lost the monarchy is we lost this like noble virtue of someone who just has the world on their back, because like they inherited something with a lot of privilege, and they have to somehow keep it. And so if you don't want to shame everybody that you're related to, you know, you do this thing. But like, so like Machiavelli's The Prince, I pretty much like just took the text to like replace this prince with artist. And that's kind of the basis, the American basis of architecture of free will is based on a republic of virtue, which is something we've lost. It's like a republic of non-virtue now. That's why I took like the 10 Commandments and I just said like the opposite sounding thing. Like instead of like honor your parents, it's like your parents don't make sense. Like and like give me that, and then like I fucking lie, and like just like
I did understand it that way.
like the like what has come to be acceptable behavior. The only thing with the 10 Commandments are they're less commandments and they're more like laws that will break us if we break them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's like just to get across the idea of like why symbols are important and why it's important to not willfully misrepresent them. And then like everyone's so like
I've done that so much with one of these commandments, man. I just like, I'm telling you, there's one that is just that I may have a problem with, you know, if it's considered a problem.
Oh, it is. It's for sure. But like it's
but I recognize the repercussions of
like as long as we like find a safe way to address ourselves in a clean mirror, in a way, like find a simulation, and because you can't make somebody do anything, you know, you can't give love away, you have to just be love, you know.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of what I want to make, like definitely like the hot and cold pools, like a place for like people to go and be like, you know, warmed after I kick their fucking asses, for, you know, like, but like a willingness to really see like rough and places that you want to go. So like, that's why paintings are so important right now, because we used to have these inviting visual places that just like hypnotize us and bring us in there, so that at some point we pay more attention to beautification schemes. So back to like kind of the business scheme and shit that I was saying, like, you know, there could be like a beautification initiative that's like that the film is ultimately working to like bring a cultural identity like to like this San Diego mystery world that we all like live in together, but like kind of it's just serving these very, very quiet people that like probably aren't even here year round or anything, but like I'm sure they hide out here for a good amount of time. And like the Del Mar racetracks, it's kind of like these iconic like society boring parties. Like they don't fucking like, they're all a joke a little bit. So we have to fucking definitely like find a way for them, like it's like, because revolutions are so bloody, like find a way for them to seem human, so that people stop blaming rich people and just stop like respecting them, you know. Because like if you blame them, you'll still like go back and like, you know, get bought for a fucking contract anyway, like, because you know, that's why the PR package thing, like we could wrap all these like jokes into the way that we present like this thing that like promises PR to artists and all this stuff, and really like what it ends up getting them involved with is this movement that will be a beautification system. That's kind of like, it's something that I don't even feel terribly comfortable about talking about it. Like with you it's fine, but like with them, because like I don't want them to like, it's like all I can give them in the world that they haven't thought of to fucking destroy the planet or something, you know?
And that's why we don't tell them that art.
Well, I will tell them things like, oh, this will make like the prices in San Diego like rise, because like if they, I'm not gonna like get into like, I'm not gonna be able to like talk about them giving a shit about prisoners unless I give them something, you know? Like,
People watch enough about prisoners, they'll listen anyway.
well, everyone's kind of in their own mental prison, you know? Of other people's eyes.
I need a piece of paper.
And so the thing with rich people is they don't want other rich people to see them like giving a shit, because they know that that's like pussy.
Sure, but
You keep that illusion going. And
For
you-
them, and that
for
angle,
them,
yeah.
And
And
you
then,
just
like,
continue to see it.
I'm just like not around those people enough, so like I have to like think about it consciously. And then when I'm writing these proposals, it's very hard because I've never even had that as a natural conversation. I don't even know what I would say, and I don't even really like have a natural conversation unless I'm really having a natural conversation. It's all something I can think, you know? Like I can't just sit there and imagine you here and do that like actors can or something, you know? Like,
You
I
already
won't-
have. That's why I'm here. You have to understand that. Don't tell me that you have not imagined
well,
a
for sure,
conversation
but
like with me
I-
standing here.
I don't think I'd be able to get it as accurate and as on point unless you were here with your own synapses firing back to where I can like kind of pull that and know what to bounce off of. Like, I really believe in that sort of thing because like some people I get so like under the influence of them that I know that that's how it must work or something, you know?
You gotta
like,
experience.
some-
I mean,
Some people's energy is like so like this feels so much different than usual, you know what I mean? And it's definitely cool, but like it was like jolting a little, like it's like a total like it's on like fucking like what's next kind of like
I'm here to fucking discuss with you how we're gonna like, just.
I just knew it was gonna be like a shakedown, fucking gnarly, like I knew it was just gonna be like a chaos, like.
Can be if
But
you
it's
want.
very controlled, like on the surface, though, right? But like,
It can be whatever we want.
like,
But
like,
I say we make it just happen, whatever it is.
like we're both chilling right now. But definitely, like when I look back on a memory of the conversations that we've had, like, I'm gonna remember, like, oh yeah, like some of these ideas, like the PR academy, like it's sort of like, how to like it's sort of like I guess I'd have to watch more of that workshop thing, but have you ever done the YouTube creator, you know what I'm talking about with that thing?
I've seen a little bit about it. Yeah.
Well,
but I haven't done
let's go look at it because it's like a good format. This thing's gone. I'm so glad you're